And then we're going to talk about, we're going to do a quick alignment for health and wellness and beauty and authenticity, and just giving an alignment and an activation. We'll do some light language and activation for, understanding you're in charge of the commandmentship of directing your health, of inspiring new light within your cells and your body, of really directing, intending, and focusing on a higher vibrational version of you, a higher vibrational source alignment of you, higher vibrational intention of you. It's because I do feel it, and I'm doing these videos, that those that are on the line are really intentional with coming forward and really wanting to have a higher vibrational aligned life. They want to feel healthier. They want to feel connected with source. They want to feel connected with spirit in all ways. And I do feel that difference in the energy. So I'm really proud of all of you that have gone through those experiences of understanding that things need to change in your reality, and there does need to be a realignment. And I can show you in all of the work that we do through ascension and through our healing practices and your daily ascension path work. It's all about realigning yourself to who you choose to be, and choosing in every day, that you want to have a higher version of light within yourself. You want to have an alliance with light, and just seeking those intentions and affirmations are really important, because that calls that energy into you. I intend to be higher aligned with my teams. I intend to receive what I'm worthy of. I intend to receive beautiful relationships that see beyond the old standards and truly want a soulful experience that is loving in the ways that I can be loving, and I can share and be in the beautiful essence of who I am, and have those appreciated, right? And then give you that reciprocation. If you do have your offerings, gifts, skills, and talents, and in a 5D vocation, which I do have sessions for. And so just before I forget, I always forget to talk about what I offer as a teacher, healer, and a conduit. I am an author. I love writing. It's part of my seed excitement is to orate and to write. What I think about and I see about and I hear about is spirit. I'm constantly hearing spirit. I'm constantly co-creating with spirit. My imagination never shuts off with spirit. I'm constantly in alignment with spirit, and I do have to purposely turn it off sometimes, and I do have to care for myself in different ways, because spirit is always connected with me in a vision of sensing it, and then it's up to me to interpret it and discern it, and then place it in the field for others for their 3 E's and their 3 A's. So that's the part of the conduit's job, is to be that translator of source in important times of human evolution, important times of change, in important times of shifting from old perspectives to new perspectives. How are we designed? And we've always been designed as higher vibrational beings. What do we exist within? What's going on within us? And who truly are we, that we can now design our lives in different ways, storyboard ourselves in different ways, and have all that we are come forward in different new ways, so that we can become the leaders that we're meant to be. And there will be those of us, as we said in my other source channel, that those of us will be chosen, if you will, because of our experience and where we've been in other realms and other versions of legacies that we've held. Based on what we've done, it matters how you play. And why I say the things that I say, and why I bring forward the practices that I do, because they're going to be redesigning how our social systems look, and how socio-economically we look. Socio-altruism, humanitarianism, all of those things are shifting and changing, because the consciousness within us is changing. Therefore, that's then. All that we are and all that we have ever been as divine beings of source light, the spiritual, soulful beings of us, because we are on a spiritual journey, each and every one of us. And we're going to be magnetizing those beings that will help complement and help serve us in our legacy redefinement. We're here to redefine our legacies, so that we're coming forward brand new. We're coming forward to represent our legacies, which are our lineages. We're coming forward to state, and as I said earlier, you're going to start feeling those intuitive energy drives that your lineages and your ancestors are saying, we've got a legacy here to create. We got to get going here. So your ancestors and all of the beings that are speaking through you, whether they're your celestial ancestors, your alien ancestors, or your ancestors from tribes on here on earth, all of your ancestors are showing you that yes, you are a part of a lineage. Yes, you are a part of something very important, and we've got to get moving on this legacy. And so there will be kind of a push sometimes for you to get connected and start realigning yourself, which we always talk about: alignment, connection, and relationship with your higher self and your teams, so that you can start having a higher benevolent, higher vibrational designed blueprint. so that you're in alignment with your blueprint, you're in alignment with your vocation. As I said, I offer vocational alignment sessions, understanding who you are, what you exist within, and a little bit of what your gifts and skills have been in past timelines, so you can start calling those forward and living as a soul-infused being, as I do. I come forward with many gifts and skills and talents because those are the aspects that I've healed, and now I get to play in those gifts and talents. It's all opened up for me. And that's when you become a soul-infused being, and you're not just living and serving and speaking from one perspective of yourself. You're speaking from many perspectives of yourself, and because you've done that integration. When it's not integrated, and when you're not grounded properly, and when there are many other imbalances taking place, it can seem as if you have multiple personalities, because you haven't brought harmony to all of those personalities you have access to. And sometimes those that have multiple personalities that are not, they're not diagnosed properly, they're not working with energy properly, and there's other woundings involved, they do have, and usually have, the personalities that are connected that are very, very aggressive and assertive in their personalities because of the traumas that are needed to be dealt with. And if you go back to the Seth videos, they talk a lot about the soul. I would recommend anybody that is really intentional on working through self-actualization, listen to a few of the Seth videos. And I would suggest the Seth videos on soul evolution. And Seth does speak about when a soul has not been healed in those soul fragments, the soul will surrender itself to that last personality perspective that kept it most safe. And sometimes those versions of that were safe could have been in a timeline where you were a Viking. So to live out that Viking personality in a more socialized 3, 4, 5D experience is not normal. And that's when the socialization of the personality constructs begin psychosis, and they begin breaking, and you see a lot of dissonance. Because what a Viking personality is, because it was kept itself most safe, and it had a long prosperous life, because Vikings were very, Vikings were like, get out of my way, I'm going to break down a tree and I'm going to go drag a woman into the cave. Those types of things, that's how they lived back then, but it's not necessarily okay for now, right? But this is where we see and we judge and we bring in inaccurate misinformations about personality disorders. This is why we do have to have much more research and money placed towards a lot of the things we've called mental illnesses, because it's just a matter of the fields and the bodies and what's going on in the psyche perspectives. This psyche perspective that might have been a Viking in low vibrational 3D is not how you operate in the personality, but it is the most safe personality that soul knows. So that soul will surrender or dump itself to the soul personality that kept it most safe. And the only one that it knows is that Viking personality. So that Viking personality is sometimes used in many other situations where that Viking soul personality will come through, and that person just reverts back to a very aggressive, assertive experience. And many men find this when they're put in situations of challenge, and when they're put in situations of fight or flight, they will surrender to a more aggressive version personality of themselves. So it is really, it's really important that we understand that there's a whole arena, and I'm going to be in charge of a lot of it. I hope I'm not in charge, but I'm going to play a big part of it, because I do want to be a part of the research. I want to be a part of designing research for Better Soul. I'm a psyche expert of how to heal the psyche and understanding how we heal various types of how we've defined mental illnesses. They're not mental illnesses. They're disruptions, and they're dissonances, and we can't heal it. They're like breaks. And so we can heal those breaks in the mental disturbances. And one thing that they gave me, which we're going to do further research on, and this is a download from source, and it is my information and my copyright, and those with bipolar tendencies, if you will, which many people do. Bipolar is far more, it's far more readily felt within each and every one of us, because most of us do have traumas. But what they were showing me is that, and we can heal bipolar in much different ways. We don't have to feel as if it's going to synthetic drugs or anything. But what they were showing me is that bipolar experiences exist when there's been an early childhood experience, and they showed me before the ages of 3. So before the ages of 3, there was a childhood wound and an experience through which the child in and of itself had a break of its safety of environment or body. And in this break of safety of the body, that personality shifted from being okay within its environment and knowing that it was fed and knowing that it was loved and cared for, because that's how it is defined. And if you look at some of the personality traits and attributes of personality bipolar, if you will, And they'll be defined as how we're feeding and nourishing ourselves in safety. And if we're on a high or a low, how do we feed ourselves in both of those experiences? And so Source was telling me that most often than not, the bipolar comes from an early childhood wounding of its safety of itself in the body and its safety of itself within the environment. And it can be healed by going back to that story and storyboarding it brand new. And so it's just honoring that. It's honoring that experience of that you can re-storyboard the energy so that your cells and the psyche can call itself back in and harmonize brand new without taking necessarily so much of the synthetic drugs, which don't do anything for the multidimensional bodies and the multidimensional gifts, skills, and talents that you absolutely need to navigate life. You know, many of the synthetic drugs actually shut down your gifts, your skills, and your talents so that you're skewing yourself of your perspectives and your perceptions of if you're safe in your environment, because you need those gifts, skills, and talents to navigate through life, through energetic experiences. So it's really important that we keep our gifts, our skills, our talents alive and, don't shut them off for anybody. Keep your attunement to spirit. So that's really interesting, to hear about the bipolar. Because we don't think, unless you have that higher vibrational channel, we would continue thinking, feeling, and experiencing, mental illnesses in certain ways from old ideologies and old 3D paradigms of medical experiences of who we are. We have to question it every day, because many of you are going to be writing and creating inspirations and new imaginations, because you're going to be aligned with your higher self and you're going to be calling forward that information that is just a higher vibrational 5D experience of a medical experience that we defined as very boxed and separate, like autism and mental illnesses. The autism and mental illnesses are going to be one of the most steadfast experiences that we're going to find the most growth in, the trajectory, because we've redefined it in such small and not accurate ways. It's going to be very, very exciting. So I was happy to bring that forward as a part of, and just as we did transgender, right? I was the only one, as far as I know, on the planet to talk about transgender in a 5D perspective. And there's so many transgender populations that are already higher vibrational, but they're operating in lower vibrational dichotomies of ideals and notions and classifications and definitions. And this is why if you ask and you speak to anybody in those communities, they come out with the disorientation of who they are just because they're already feeling, the confusion and the experiences of who they are within themselves, and they're not finding anything in their outer reality. It's very similar to a starseed. They are starseeds. They're just going through their perspective through the gender and the sexuality, and they're meant to. They're meant to bring the discriminations that the collective has had for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So they're playing a very profound part in our evolution. And so these beings of these communities are going to be coming forward, and through a higher dimensional understanding and intelligence, we can begin then resting and relaxing. And okay, this is just a normal part of, I'm meant to go through these experiences of, my sexual energies and my gender energies, and where I feel comfortable and who I feel comfortable in presenting myself, expressing, exploring, experiencing myself, whether it's a gender preference or a sexual preference. So make sure that you're looking at that in your ascension path work and look at it from a 5D perspective. And you're going to feel so, like I said in my that video where I did the trans, you're going to find yourself releasing yourself from a lot of the energy that you felt all wrapped up in that was lower vibrational ideologies, which a lot of the community tends to make itself do, because that's all that's there. They're low vibrational ideologies, they're low vibrational definitions, they're low vibrational discriminations. Because the people that are defining it, the people that are boxing it, the people that are talking about it are not truly 5D vibrational. They're not getting those downloads from the higher self. And why we said, again, go back to your ascension path work. Your ascension blueprint has everything to do with the sacred Trinity. So if you're aligning everything through your sacred Trinity, everything just makes sense and it works itself out, because it is the highest vibrational alignment. You're not aligning it with low vibrational 3D, misinformed, misguided, wrong categorizations. Because they're wrong, they're 3D, they're low, it's not really accurate. So when you do your path work, when you're working on a divine feminine issue or a divine masculine issue, always take it up to the highest vibration of your sacred Trinity. I want to explore this as a sexual gender exploration. I want to explore this in a gender preferencing. I need to explore this. So do your excavation, do your internal, your internal reflections and your observations, and then do it on the sexual side of it. This is a very profound person that can do this. This is mastery. You don't just slough it off and be okay with whatever Google says. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, forget Google. Google is not 5D. You are 5D. And define that within yourself first. And as we said back in our other trans video, you know, try to put off any alterations to your hormones and to anything physically until you have at least 6 months of working with your teams and understanding what is your story, because every person on the planet has a unique story and a puzzle piece that they play to assist the collective. That's why you've come feeling and experiencing and going through what you're going through. It's very normal. Your puzzle piece says it's very normal that I explore this. It's very normal. So don't judge yourself. It is very hard to judge yourself, and we automatically do judge ourselves, just like me being a starseed. I never felt like I fit in my body. I never felt like I was supposed to be here. Because my body is it's very dense. It's stuck to the ground. You know, I don't want to be in the ground. I want to be up, right? And I tell Spirit all the time, I said, I don't think I fit here because my teachings, you know, I feel like everything that I'm expressing is not getting through to the people that it needs to get through to. You know, like help me find my niche, help me find my genre. Because otherwise it's just inefficient. A being of high caliber co-creation, I need to feel efficient. I need to feel as if I'm manifesting my destiny, my purpose. And this is where early star seeds, they feel so as if they don't correlate with their environment. They don't correlate with their families. We're never meant to, because those are the things we're here to inspire others with. And it's a very hard experience because nobody talks about these things and why star seeds feel so uncorrelating. Because we're meant to be that ignition of new energy where everything outside of you is kind of the pushing and the pulling, and they're not used to the new energy yet. So they're not letting you in quite yet because there's still a lower vibration. But this star being still feels and still has to heal all of the ostracization and all of the isolation that it feels. And you can say star seeds, or you can say whether it's a sexual preference or a gender identity. You know, so allow yourself the minutia of giving itself time to work itself out. But you're not going to know that if you're not doing the spiritual work and you're not doing the soulful work. So that's why I've said, when it comes to trans issues, about how you feel about yourself and feeling soulfully connected and soulfully harmonized. You want to feel harmonized, right? Hello, sweetheart. And to feel harmonized, you got to do the soul work. You got to do the soul's work. So give it 6 months with your teams and with your spirit guides. Get really connected with your spirit guides. Say, I'm going through these issues. I have dichotomy about preferencing and sexuality. Can you help me feel better about this? And just relax into it and do your ascension path work. Because then you're a highly educated being. Because we are going to need these highly educating beings that have gone through the trans energies and teach it from a 5th dimensional perspective. I'm one person, but that's not my specialty to teach on. I'm bringing it forward as I do in a lot of my things. Again, I say it because copyright is copyright. It's me. I come forward as an igniter of spirit source creator. I'm a conduit. I spark source creator, high vibrational wisdoms and knowings to the collective. I feed the collective mana. I feed the collective mana. I have energy. I have codes. I have source energy, source information of where humanity is heading to. We're carving out a new path. We're moving in new directions of mental illnesses and how to redefine them in a higher vibrational 5D way. How to align gender understandings in a 5-dimensional way so that we all feel as if we're harmonizing into these higher vibrational beings, which we've always been. Who are you? What do you exist when? What's going on within you? I bring forward these ideas because there are going to be those in the communities. This is what I'm inspiring all of you. You are in the communities. You're the ones that are facing these issues within your soul's evolution. And if you're facing them in your soul's evolution, that is one of your soul's primary themes. So honor it. Make lemonade out of what has been defined to you as a problem or an issue and absolutely misunderstood and misrepresented and misaligned in the collective understanding of what that is, whether it be a gender or a sexual experience. We want to take it to the highest experience of energy. It's all energy. And once you sort out the energy, as I said, take at least 6 months with your teams to understand energy of what you're going through. Because you're going through lots of changes and your soul and your spirit are starting to harmonize and bring better minutia and harmonization of all that you are as a multi-vibrational being. And if you're doing your energy work, you're going to bring harmony and peace to all that you are, not just one version of who you are. Not that one soul fragment that had an issue of being gay in another lifetime and you're here to resolve it and clear it and heal it. But there's also other things that you're interested in looking at and bringing harmony to at a higher vibrational intelligence. So I'm offering that to you. And if I say copyright behind it, then copyright means that I've got content and information that I've written about that is my information, and you can't just use it and call it yours. However, I am a conduit and I'm a healer, I'm a teacher, I'm a creator God. I'm here to guide those within the collective of your own unique talents and your gifts and your skills through which each and every one of you may be inspired to move in your authentic vibration of who you are authentically. And if it's been something that you want to be a speaker and a teacher and an ambassador of, you will know that within your soul's blueprint. And that's why I've said, if you want to have soul's blueprint session with me, have a session with me, because it does sort out and it gives you direction. You know, are you storyboarding yourself with intention and direction and beauty and inspiration of who you are with Source? What are your key themes you really get excited about? And there's so many young people nowadays that aren't even out of high school, and they're already the speakers and the politicians of tomorrow, but we'll call them different things. They'll be more like ambassadors. They will be leaders of peace. They will be leaders of economics. They will be leaders of inventiveness. They will be leaders of medicine. We're going to call them different things, because there's not going to be the 12 or 13 different arrays of different religions or politics, names and things that we have with who we are and who we've been defining ourselves as. That's why church and state are going to go through much transformations. And those of us that have been placed forward as creator gods, we're here to help inspire humanity to see potentiation through the imagination and through inspiration of who we are and who we've always been. And how do you use imagination and inspiration? Through using it within your beauty and health and wellness experiences, so that you're accepting all that you are, no matter what you're going through in your ascension path work. If you're moving through an experience where you want to help redefine it with greater intelligence of gay or bi or poly, those are sexual experiences. And then you look at it from the body type of experience, whether you're in a male encasing or a female encasing, and what are you doing it? What are you feeling? What are you going through? What are your dreams telling you? What is your higher consciousness telling you? What is your collective and your family's lineage telling you? You're here to clear those curses and hexes of lower delineations, of lower ideologies, of lower notions, and bring it to a higher perspective of energy. In 5D, we will all be androgynous. We will have a physical body that will either be male or female. And then we get to choose out of that encasing, how do we allow ourselves to move forward in the full acceptance and continued acceptance of all being one and one being all. We all are. When our energies are balanced in divine feminine and masculine, we have become our highest healed self, because the energy won't be blocked anywhere. Our axional lines in all of our bodies, through the acupuncture lines, our acupunctural points, they will all be absolutely sparked with light. So we're understanding energy at a very high vibrational way. It has everything to do with everything. It's all correlating. But I'm here to inspire you, those that are in such communities, and you've had such experiences in your families, and you feel very passionate and you feel very honored to be a part of that community. Stop hiding and come forward and be who you are. Because there are those in the community that are meant to carry such stories. They're meant to have blogs that are approaching things in very responsible and respectful ways, to bring inspiration and hope and pleasantry to all those going through it as well. To say that these are natural, normal things, dear lighted ones. You're meant to explore yourself with great responsibility and great patience and great compassion. And knowing that what you are as a gender and what you are as a sexual experience can change throughout your ascension path work. So why would you want to make profound decisions on how a body should look and feel when you're only at one perspective and one perspective point? You know, like looking through that spyglass into the sky, and a third dimensional person will see a very shorter sky and a very blank sky, as opposed to somebody that's 5D looking up in that telescope. Because they're much more open, they're much more aware of celestial beings, they're much more aware of stars being born every minute. So why would you want to make such big decisions about your body? And there's no judgment on it. You can make judgments on your body whenever you want. It's your body. But we're saying that your body is now becoming more and more aware, as you are becoming more and more aware that you are on a spiritual journey. And your spirit is becoming more and more your body, and your body is becoming more and more your spirit. That's why we're having these discussions as we are. Because when you are directing and intending your body with energy in a positive way, because we've also come through 4 or 5 years of talking about what happens to the body, the mind, and the heart and the soul when you're misguiding and you're abusing power, you're abusing energy, and you're abusing the dark occult, and you're abusing magic as a tool for everything, and it's not. It never will be, it never has been. So again, We're all awakening to a higher vibrational ways of becoming, and those that tell you to do lower vibrational dark occults as an answer to get something and to be something and to attract people towards you will never ever be your answer. You will always have to work out your issues. You will always have to work out why someone's not being attracted to you. Why is your spell work coming back to you? Why are you going through the karma that you're going through? And again, you can break it down to whatever it is you're going through, whether it's gender, sexuality, whether it's familial curses that you're breaking, whether it's familiar ideologies that you're breaking, whether it's religious ideologies you're breaking. It doesn't matter what you're going through, because everybody's got a different puzzle piece that they're meant to totally explore and embrace. You are a unique puzzle piece within creation, and you're meant to embrace your puzzle piece, not another's. Stay out of people's energy. Stay out of people's stories. You're not meant to destiny swap. You're not meant to do any of that stuff. And why that even came about is probably ridiculous and redundant. Somebody had no idea who they were. They had no clue who they were. They did not love who they were, so they wanted somebody else's destiny. And you just see the mentality that is connected with such things. To even say it just sounds so blasphemous. You've earned that destiny. Why would you want to swap it? You have no idea that once you come through your next 3 or 4 years of healing, that you're going to be the very one that's going to write books that will change all of humanity, as opposed to what we think, feel, and see about transgender. Why would you want to be the puzzle piece of something else that you're not meant to be? That's not your correlation. Your correlation is something different. Be your puzzle piece. Be authentically you. Stop hiding. Be authentically you, dear lighted ones. And we can attribute most of the hiding to what has been in the traumas and the dilemmas of church and state, because they told you to hide. They didn't want you to come forward and be your profundity of intelligence. Obviously, we've seen through the silencing of my channel, YouTube corruption, I will keep suing you. And you're going to keep getting karma, YouTube, and all the people that have been involved in silencing me. 45 to 150 people now. Because no, I'm a unique puzzle. I'm a unique piece of this divine puzzle galactically and universally and human experiences, along with the nature. I am here to play a part of nature and wildlife and Gaia speak. I'm here to bring Gaia stories forward. I'm here to continue my sacred travels upon the lands. I'm here to continue my sacred liturgies of animals and how they relate with us and correlate with us in peace and honor. And shamanism with herbs and gardens and plants that are going to be coming new on our planet just for our healing. I'm going to continue my peace and my creativity as a God creator. And I am a goddess in my body of divine feminine, and I love my divine feminine body, and I'm going to be meeting a beautiful soulmate that I can relax in my divine feminine goddesshood, and I can allow him to be his masculine, and we can be there for each other when we're both going through and growing through our various energies of divine feminine masculine leadership. Because we're going to have to rely on each other for those healings, and giving and taking with fairness and with honor, so that each of our legacies can come forward and build brand new. Because we both belong to celestial and galactic families and lineages and royalties that are continuing something that has never been done before. We're bringing ancient legacies of who we have been and who we are in our royal lineages, and we're now creating something on our very new Earth star. It's never been done before. What we are walking into has never been done before at a 5D experience. These are very profound times, dear lighted ones. So listen to these videos that we've created today. We've created 2 videos today about imagination and inspiration, which is the very seat of the soul of Source Creator. Everything the Source is in all creation, it's always about inspiration and the creativity to create, create, create. How can one imagine? Be the sacred child of imagination again. This specific segment has been various stories and various ideas and various capacities and aptitudes we brought forward today for you to muse and for you to ponder and for you to reflect upon and for you to bring into your own social story of who you are with Spirit and Source as your spiritual journey. How can you start to begin creating greater inspiration and harmony with Spirit for your beauty, for your authenticity, to bring greater health to your cells, greater health to your muscles, greater health to your bones and tissues, and become a higher infused being of 5th dimensional light that you get to direct and storyboard. And storyboarding is what? Storyboarding is a tool of manifestation. Storyboarding is a tool of imagination. It allows you to create visualizations and harmonies and codes that can activate you, and pictures and symbologies and things that allow you to remember who you are connected with. Again, who are you, what you are connected with, what's within you and what's without you, what's within and what's above and what's below. It's connection and alignment and your relationship of it. That is alignment, that's Spirit. We're asking this of you in every moment. Nothing else matters. Everything that you ever want to manifest as part of success is your unique puzzle piece, as your unique authenticity, as how you speak and how you sing through life, create through life, is all you. So have your unique voice. And what does it say? Who are you? Is your voice sticking when you need your voice to stick? Say, no, this is who I am today. Would you like to play with me? Would you like to dance and sing and talk about the forest? I can talk about the forest. What stories would you like to hear, delighted ones? Would you like to hear the Syrian forest? Shall we take you far out there, delighted ones? Or can we talk about here and now? Do you know each and every one of you are the seeds of Source Creator? Are you going to be a tree or a flower? Again, these are personality perspectives, and these are just parables for you. You are each in the garden of creation. You are each in the garden of the galaxy, and it's becoming new in every moment. You are being fed and nourished in new ways. New soils, new manure, and new naturalization of nutrients that you need in every moment. Source provides that for you. Your planet provides that for you. And it's up to each and every one of you and your gifts, your skills, and your talents to pay attention to what chemicals are being pumped into the air. And if there are animals and insects that are dying, why? Answer and ask. And keep asking until you get the right answers. Because church and state has not been that forthright. And each and every one of those will come forward. Each and every one of you are to go into your experience of storyboarding and bring forward what's important for you, as Celeste has, as Joanna has, brought forward the corruptions of what she has been through and what she has been under. Covert trafficking and covert suppression and covert trying to take her life out. How is that okay? How is it okay that there's a human hunting program on your planet? How is it okay that there's a human testing program on your planet? How is any of this okay? If you were to look at it and you were to sit down in your Galactic Federation light ships and you sit upon your crystal tables with all of the other species of the galaxy and all your different diversities and all your different ages that you've been there for hundreds and thousands of years, floating about the galaxy, learning and braving new things and braving new galaxies and braving new horizons. And as the brave beings that you are to come forward as the ambassadorials of peace and honor and unity and oneness as part of the Galactic Federation, and you're looking at this one story, there is many things that are going on planet Earth that are red flag. And one of them has been the human trafficking, human hunting. At what point in creation, as they're placing this upon their crystalline tables and across all galaxies, and there have been many galactic wars that have just been a spin-off. And we put this on the table, dear lighted ones, and each and every one of you are on the galactic light ships at night. Make no mistake about it, you are. You just don't remember. So ask your higher self to bring forward these musings and remembrances, because it will help you align with your 5D vocational alignment. And I can have a session with you if you like to activate these codes within you. So please, donations and session bookings would be appropriate, and only those of pure of heart. Come forward and brave yourself before me. And as you're sitting upon the Galactic Federation lightship, and some of you might be interested in healthy waters, healthy oceans, releasing of the chemtrails, better air, and how the air is affecting the insects and the bugs and the bees, that you need those bees for your environments and your food that comes from the groceries and the produce that you buy and sell and you eat. These are very pivotal experiences for humanity, delighted ones, and each and every one of you are a puzzle piece of such. And when you're on the light ships at nighttime, dear lighted ones, you're seeing these issues. And if a politician was to come to you, because you're going to have different names, you're going to be future council leaders, you're going to be future ambassadors, you're going to be future peacemakers, you're going to walk the planet on your feet. And yes, you're going to have little machines that you get in and out of, and you travel from here to there on the longer scapes of the land that you want to move, because people want to see you and meet you all over the world, in the corners of the world that you don't even know exist. And you're going to bring them your codes and your energy and your light. And you're going to bring them your liturgies of light and your liturgies of benevolence. This is what we're doing on this side of the world. How may we help? I'm a co-creator God. How may I help you? I've been here many times. I'm bringing in my forward journey of being spiritual. And here I am now this day. This is my new speech and these are my new wisdoms. How may I be of assistance, dear lighted ones? And they place upon these papers that are all have the big word secret on them. And they're all domiciled with secret, secret, secret manila envelopes. How would you approach these leaders and these politicians, dear lighted ones, when you had this spiritual leader that has been before you for her entire life of 50 years? And there's been nothing but fabrications and falsities and lies about her name and her place of birth and who she is and who she was born to and why she was born to. And then moved off and shuffled off because people that had supposedly taken care of her, which we will tell you as the celestial councils right now, we are saying this and this is in her Akashic record. There has been no human that have taken care of her. The so-called families, the so-called articles of calling mother and father, they have done their best, but they have been very dysfunctional. And she's had to heal from every single person that she's been in the care of. And this is why at a very early age, she took care of herself. That was part of her soul's contract to teach others. No matter what you are faced with, get up, dear lighted ones. Because the people around you are mostly wounded and dysfunctional. But you cannot not be that if you choose. You don't have to take on their stories and dysfunction and karma. Detach, dear lighted ones. Don't take on anybody's karma. You're supposed to be there in your highest emulation of who you are. As within, so without, dear lighted ones. Not as without, so within. No. As within, so without. I create my environment. And it changes for me. As I speak, my word sticks. That's why you will not kill me. You will not take me out. You will not sacrifice me. How is that okay? You're sitting upon your federations. It's quite a quandary we have here. Because when we wake up in the morning, we're going to be humans. And then we have to face this whole ideal. Yes, there has absolutely been human hunting on our planet. There's been minions and cults and covens and witches and warlocks and little practitioners and voodooists. Whatever you want to call yourself, the names and titles don't matter. It's not rank, dear lighted ones. Your delusions and your diversions of who you are as being sacred. You just forgot you're sacred and you're just deluding yourself for a moment or two. So once you've stopped playing that dark role, then what? Do you want to come out of karma? Do you want to align with a higher vibrational reality? Yes or no? Are you going to admit and you're going to go to the authorities and you're going to keep talking to the authorities and you're going to keep bringing the same story because it's a truth? Because if that story changes, it's not a truth. And why from every one of Celeste's videos, it's the same truth. She comes with the same truth. She packs the heavens in her, dear lighted ones. That's why her story is always the same. And those of the shadow government and those of church and state that have screwed her over, and we've told you right from day one, there ain't been no fathers and mothers that have taken care of her as if she has been a precious being that we call her as, and she is. She is very important to this galaxy and the creational all. That's why mother and father have called her. And the various aspects of expertise that she carries, geneticism, and all the wonderful things that she can do upon the planet that none of you have given her a chance or an opportunity to, because you just choose to hate her and throw things at her to stop her and silence her. And how dare she be who she is? How dare she be all love and light? How dare she be happy about who she is? She's so weird and strange. And so too will you after you finish awakening in a year or two and you start speaking about your soul and loving your soul and honoring your soul and healing those wounds of people that said you were nothing. We have to face this idea, dear lighted ones, when you're storyboarding yourself. Absolutely start healing those stories of trafficking and being used and abused. Because that's what storyboarding is for, is to manifest your side on the other way of that infinity. A storyboard takes you from a negative side of the infinity and you're going to neutralize it in every way because you're going to love yourself. You're going to forgive yourself and you're going to be compassionate to all those before you. Because they're reminding you that you're a part of the bigger family. You have always been celestial and galactic, and you always will be. It's in your DNA. You've just been told otherwise. So choose to believe other people's stories or beliefs, as Celeste and Joanna has told you many stories about the people that have fabricated about who she is and what day she was born and where she was born. Those are stories that she's not sticking to and why she's chosen her own name. And she can choose her own birth date if she chooses, and the whole universe and the whole multiverse and Mother, Father, God will assure that those stars will be aligned for whatever date that she picks. Do you see what I'm saying, dear lighted ones? The universe converges around you. That's why the 3D stories, and you can come forward with your last minute proposals and confessions. It doesn't matter anymore because the universe is converging around me. I'll pick my own birth date. Because you've all had your opportunity to bring right and good and kindness to me, and it's never been done. It didn't matter to you how much weight I carried with the 15,000 lies and the fabrications of stories and people shoveling me off to hear this cult and that cult and selling me in the underground, selling me here and selling me there, whoever's going to do more spell work on me, who's ever going to get more harvesting of their sex orgies and their disgustingness, that they think that they have my light and I don't. And they're manifesting millions off of me while I sit homeless. How's that okay, dear lighted ones? Is that a part of your storyboard? On some people's storyboard it is. They have 3 or 4 light workers on their storyboard they're going to harvest from. That's their story. They're going to harvest from you, and they're going to do sex magic, and they're going to do voodoo, and they're going to pretend and what you want, and they want you to be numb and dumb so that you don't question, you don't become who you are. And when you do start to question, you got people starting to stalk you and spy you and hack on your properties of electronics and technology, because they don't want you to get the information. They don't want you to know the court papers. They don't want you to know the court outcomes. They don't want you to talk around family, because you might be dead, or you might be missing, or you might be something else. There might be POAs out there and insurance forms out there that you've never signed or been a part of, but the more that people know that you're actually out there and alive, well, that's going to change their story of fabrication now, isn't it? And falsities, isn't it? And all of a sudden, those 13,000 lies, however deep and messy they were, and however many people you called into it, oh, I don't know, a couple hundred? This is the power of light and truth, dear lighted ones, and this is source creator, this is God. It doesn't matter how many fancy suits and how many people have much resources behind them. Just as that one indication came out this week, $55 million lawsuit happened upon a church in the U.S. for trafficking. And it will go through, and they will be found guilty. Dear lighted ones, the ideas of church in your North American continents have been a tax write-off, and that was the pure intention of many of these churches. The pure intention was never to house the longing and the honoring and the keeping safety of the communities, and speaking of great things, and speaking of great light and inspiration, and speaking of great community oneness and unity. They've been held as masks for tax write-offs and the things that go on in the basements, and it's been deviated and it's been corrupted all along, and you all know it. And these stories will come out one by one, and we're just saying, who are you now? Are you storyboarding that church a brand new? Are you going to bring new energy to that church, new ideas and new foundations to that church? Are you bringing a new foundation to your legacy, dear lighted ones? What's in your home? What are your intentions? Because any church that is built with the intention to be a tax write-off for elites, so that they can do their trafficking business, you better bet one by one, these churches are coming down. Because they are not built on the integrity that is 5D. And you can say that it's been a light worker that called you out, and you're going to attack that light worker as much as you can, because they've now made a hiccup in your trafficking business. And we're going to say it had nothing to do with that light worker. She was just the voice through which God spoke. For you were also in your delusions and your numbness and the dumbness of what magic has done to you, and the curses and the hexes and the spelling, and the more importance of money, and the more importance of false clout in these cults and covens and masons and whatever you want to call yourself with these fake titles. They don't mean anything. Because you're not using it with the integrity of that it was intended for. Therefore, you have falsified and you've corrupted the intention. You've corrupted the intention of your body. You've corrupted the intention of your vessel. You've corrupted the intention of your spirit and your soul. Now what? Now what are you going to do? Now what? Your body's diseased. Now what? You're going to storyboard anew? Storyboard anew, dear lighted ones. You have an opportunity, or not. Intention is everything. It's where karma begins. It's where the health of your body begins, or the health of your church, or the health of your legacy. Who are you? And why Celeste offers vocational alignment sessions, because everybody needs these reminders, because it's been thousands of years of being misguided and misinformed and absolutely and utterly wrong. Hasn't been godly at all. God is quantum, dear lighted ones. God is life and life is God. Therefore, thus then, why would anyone ever buy a church just because you get a tax write-off? And what are your intentions in that church? And it will fall, I guarantee you. Because your intentions not are to be authentic and genuine, is to have a tax write-off. You don't care what goes on in that church. You just wanted a tax write-off, because that's what elites do. We just want tax write-offs all over the place. We've got money, well, let's invest it, and it better be a tax write-off. There's no intention in it other than to have a tax write-off, because that's been your mentality. So now we want you to know, as you head into 5D, dear lighted ones, you're a soulful being. And if it is not aligned within your soul, you can absolutely bet that you're going to have a tower, and you're going to have to realign it with higher intentions. And your body is going through that right now. You are being prepared right now in your body to be aligned to a 5D omnipresent rarefied light. This rarefied light will allow you to see who you are, what you are, where you've been, where you belong to, celestial councils, celestial galactic federations, the star councils, the federations, the many, many beings and the many councils that you belong to. Why? Because you're a creator God, and you're coming here to earth to bring something that's never been done before. But it must happen through you first. You are a puzzle piece. You are an expression and an emulation and a presentation of the heavens. Who are you? You are a representation of the Mother and the Father. Who are you? You have practiced many religions, and you've practiced many beliefs, and who are you now? What will you take with you, and what will you stay stuck in? And those of church and state that have allowed themselves to think that human hunting and human trafficking and human testing and MK Ultra and Project Stargates and all of these things that have suppressed Celeste so that her channel never be seen by anybody, so that corrupt groups and shadow government groups and shadow government entertainment and shadow entertainment, whatever they are, elites, so that nobody sees them because they want to harvest and pocket all of that individual's light because they know how powerful she is. They don't want them to know about the shows they've made on her behalf and her energy and her name and her stories, and they're not going to give her a penny. But they've used her name, they've used her energy, and they harvest and they orgy in groups. And why they're all being fed with their diseases of their intentions, because their intentions were not pure. They didn't care about her. They didn't care about what she carried. They didn't care about the isolation and the traumas that she had to heal from and transmute, the lies she had to transmute since the day that she was a babe in fresh skin. She has carried the lies of others that she did not ask for. However, she knew it was in her contract, and she took every knock on the chin. There are many that come forward and will make it right through her and bring balance. She will no longer be used as a harvesting agent, and you have all been cut off, and why your lives are now in deep karma, and why those that have used her and abused her and told as many lies as they could to get away with their agendas, they will also be seen in their knee-deep of karma, and it will continue every day. The karma that is being unveiled to you, dear lighted ones, has nothing to do with Celeste or Joanna. These are the heavens now stepping in, and these are the ancestors on her behalf. For there's been many opportunities that she gave each and every one of you through her own voice and through her own body and through her own soul's expression to come forward and make right. And go back to her videos and count how many times she's asked you to bring forward and bring right. But you've continued to suppress and pay others and pay YouTube to have her silenced and not seen by anyone. So that the people really do need the healing cannot reach her because they don't know how to find her and get to her. Those that are meant to collaborate with her as soul co-creators, how can they get to her? Those that are meant to create with me at a soul level, you know who you are, and you wake up with the butterfly things in your tummy about co-creating with me, or you'll see dreams with me through your higher self will ignite these dreams with you. They're not done through spell work, and it's not done through come hither spells, and it's not done through come get attracted to me spells or come glamour spells. If you're using spell work, you're not these people that I will be co-creating with. Period. People from Calgary, I'm not co-creating with you. You've lost your rights to co-create with me because you've been so very egregious and you have not made it right. And those that choose to connect with me on a higher vibration, creator God experience and create legacies that will be of matter of factly very important for all of humanity in all directions that we are excited to co-create within, because each and every one of you are a unique puzzle piece. Be authentic and beautiful within who you are, dear lighted ones. Copy no one. Why would you copy anyone? You're the only one that's like you. So bring that version of you forward, the essence of you forward, the storyboard of you forward. What's your story today? To contact, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. That's how you contact me. And you make a donation and you make a payment. And you bring your authentic email and your authentic contact information through to me, and I will connect with you. And we will have a face-to-face through FaceTime or through another experience like Zoom, and we will connect face-to-face so that you know that it is only my face that will speak with you in these co-creations. Because nobody speaks on behalf of me, nobody writes on behalf of me, nobody signs on behalf of me, nobody. I don't have a psyche, I don't have a posse. I speak for me, I write for me. Nobody writes my speeches, I write for me. It is my vibration. I take my work very seriously. That's why I've never ever, and I will never ever choose to sell my intellectual property. It belongs to me, it always did, always will. Anybody thinking they can use it to make money off of, they will again find themselves in karma, as we've already explained. Your intention. It wasn't forthright. It wasn't honoring. I've been paid nothing, not one penny from anybody, except my beautiful client. And they know who they are, and they will always be lifted, always. They will be forever cultivated in my garden. They will always be nourished in my garden. They will always be protected in my garden. Because they gave when they didn't even have to give. And they weren't asked to give, but they gave. There was no validation required from Celeste or Joanna to this person. And they will always be lifted and protected by Archangel Michael. That's the blessing, dear lighted one, when you follow your heart and you just be who you are. It matters how you play. Are you authentic? Yes or no? Are you aligned, dear lighted ones? Yes or no? What does alignment mean, dear lighted ones? Are you in connection and relationship with you? Take a deep breath before we go. Ground yourself through all your chakras and feel yourself and see yourself. Imagine, dear lighted ones. You have inspiration of infinite. See crystalline light, gold and white and silver bathe you, and the violet flame bathe you, and clear and cleanse. Full body breath. I'm aligned with the divine holy creator, and in my imagining and in my inspiration, I am in full control of my health and my beauty. I choose to be authentic in who I am, my authentic voice and my authentic speech, my authentic selves and my authentic growth, my authentic knowing that I am a spiritual journey. I am the journey. I'm an authentic piece of this creational puzzle, and I choose to be authentically me. Nobody is like me, it's just me that can be me. I choose to have a higher understanding of the idea of trans and gender and sexuality, and I choose to bring it forward with responsibility and care because I am. I want to take care of my body now because I am. I am the Holy Mother and I am the Holy Father in a presentation of this new earth. And my part here and my role here is important. And my voice is. And I choose to storyboard myself in a fifth dimensional manner, thought, word, and deed, and energy. And feel yourself and see yourself being bathed with holy light. Your teams are bathing you, and ground it to New Earth grid, ground it to your New Earth star, and see that light rod going right through to the earth, right into the core of the earth, and ground to the New Earth star. Ground to the new grids, ground to the new grids, ground to the new grids. And take a deep breath. And give a moment of gratitude and appreciation to your teams and to your higher self. Thank you, Holy Self. Thank you, Holy Self, and thank you, Holy Higher Self. Thank you for allowing me the highest expression of who I am, Holy Mother and Father. Thank you for allowing me to go deeper, wider, and in more creativity of who I am as a divine being. That my word is as I speak it, my life is as I speak it, my cells are as I speak it, my youthfulness is as I speak it. I love being authentic. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And you can get yourself in a higher vibration by speaking to your cells and your life this way. Speak life over to your life, Spirit. All of you children out there as spirit form, you're on a spiritual journey. Speak life into your spirit. Speak life over your soul, over your life, over your walking moment by moment, and the people that you will meet. I call forward the most benevolent people that will come to me, that will nourish me as I nourish them, in great balance and love, in great exploration, in great loving relationships. I intend this for myself. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And ground. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We love you so much. Anybody that would love to get in touch with me and donation in any sessions, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross, no spaces. And then, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We love you so much. Listen to these over and over again. There's lots of codes in these 2 videos. So I hope they upload okay. I'm going to go check right now. We love you so very much. We love you. We love you. Love you. I love you so very much. You are authentic. You are genuine. So be that. Don't try and be like anybody else, dear lighted ones. And work on your health and your wellness and your beauty every day. Authentic beauty is everything. Authentic beauty is everything. And we love you. And thank you, Holy Mother and Father. Thank you, Holy Mother, Father. And we are one, dear lighted ones, a beautiful collective of one. Bye. We love you.